between these two conference favorites, the Packers and the Chiefs, who is the best team in the NFL, would you say?
I got the Chiefs. And for the lack of spilling water on my shirt, I got the Chiefs because I think this team has kind of reascended. They reminded us of all of what championship teams look like, even working their way out of the slump or whatever. We tagged it earlier this season with turnovers and Patrick Mahomes not being as precise and accurate as a passer. We saw this last game against the Pittsburgh Steelers without his main guy, without Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
They went to Pringle. They went to Hardman. I think Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy has changed. They've realized, let's hand the ball off some. Let's work on Patrick's mind as far as taking the easy things in order to open things up downfield. We talked about the interceptions that Pat threw, and some of those not on his fault, hit receivers in the hands. But we also was concerned about accuracy. Pat was missing a lot of those home run shots that we had grown so accustomed to him completing. Now, those things look like they coming back. Chargers game, had to work back, had to work out of the deficit. It was old school, vintage Patrick Mahomes. Let me go out here and ball and find my guys. Obviously, we saw them against Dallas when they were kind of coming out of that rut, put 19 points up, but ultimately they got some things clicking. And then you think about this team last week and what they did against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And when you look at how they just imposed how much better they were from an offensive standpoint on Pittsburgh's defense, it was super impressive to me. I'm not going to bet against Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, and Eric Bieniemy. And by the way, we talk about this offense, that defense has been playing lights out, and they even played a game without Chris Jones and still was able to have a tremendous amount of success. So I look at the Chiefs right now as the best team in the NFL.
So I would. It's a tough one for me. I'm going to say this. I do think the Chiefs are a better football team because of the way they've been forged through fire. I mean, we know they struggled. They have found a way to work themselves out. The Edwards-Helaire.
What you going to disagree about?
Listen.
Don't disagree then.
I'm going to disagree. Here's why I'm going to disagree. I think the Packers, with their running game, with Dillon and Jones, and the physicality they can play with up front, gives you a slight advantage, in my opinion, over the Chiefs, right? Because we still know the Chiefs, as well as they've played, they still don't want to go, and Edwards-Helaire is hurt, but whether it's Williams or whichever back has to get the touches, we know they don't want to go to that style of game. They still want to put it in Mahomes' hands. Everybody would. We all would. But it's easier to stop that in the playoffs than it is a team who can, when they have to run it, they have to close games out. They don't want to leave a team in it. Green Bay can typically find a way because of what they have back there. Their defense has been much better this season. I understand they've struggled a little bit in the run game here recently, but as you're looking at this football team, when I think of Aaron Rodgers, I've described him like this the entire season. Just because he can doesn't mean he should. He can throw every ball known to man. He can be Patrick Mahomes and then some. This cat he's got electricity running through his veins with the arm and the placement, accuracy, you name it, what he has it. But he will not put his team in harm's way. It's probably the thing that I respect most about his game is even though he could take shots, he decides, nope, for the betterment of the team, I'm not going to throw that. I'll throw it away. I'll run it out. I'll pull the ball down. There's great examples of him throughout the season. He gets a one-on-one matchup with Devontae Adams on the outside. He sees somebody jumping it. He had it against the Ravens. Pulled it down, eats it, goes and gets 5 yards. They have to punt. He's going to trust his defense to make the plays. I think those teams in the playoffs are tougher teams to get out. That's why, and listen, it's a slight edge for me, but I still give the edge. And I also think LaFleur, from a play caller perspective, is on par with Andy Reid and Bieniemy. I think LaFleur does a great job of manufacturing yardage from players that we don't even know their name half the time, and he can find ways to win. I have a ton of respect for that as well.
Marcus, you agree with Jeff on that one about trusting Rodgers more in those situations?
More than Mahomes?
Yeah. Being smarter?
No. Why would I? Why would I trust him more than Mahomes? Look, I saw
Because
Patrick
he has
Mahomes last
4
year
interceptions.
go to the
and 2 were in the first week.
I get it, Jeff. I get it. But the playoffs is gonna be a new season. Let's
Sure.
not sit here and act like we gonna think about all of the stuff that transpired before the season started. By the way, Patton threw 40 touchdowns. We look at the turnovers.
Who's your MVP right now?
Aaron Rodgers.
I mean,
I
got
no
to say
problem
anything
saying
else?
that. But Jeff, Aaron Rodgers was the MVP last year and lost to Tom Brady and Lambeau. That don't
Tom
have
Brady.
a damn thing to do with the playoffs. It don't have anything to do with it. What I'm saying is, when you get to the playoffs and you think about both of these teams, all right, and I fully agree with you on what Green Bay is. Green Bay has done a tremendous job this year. I think LaFleur should get more credit for what they were able to do in Arizona than any other game this particular season, because he had to go to a run game and was able to do it. But when I look at Kansas City, I've seen Kansas City go to the run. I've seen them be patient. I've seen them play the way that they needed to play on this 8-game win streak to remind us all that we are Super Bowl guys. We are the team that's been in the Super Bowl 2 years in a row. Patrick Mahomes is still that guy. He's a $500 million quarterback. We see Tyreek and we see Travis Kelce coming back in the form. All of us were scratching our head like, what's wrong? What's going on with them? Why they don't look like they look? Look how bad the defense is playing. And all they continue to do was just continue to ascend, continue to get better. The pressure of losing and being out of the division, they responded and was like, nah, no problem. We got it. Everybody calm down. Everybody relax. We'll make the proper adjustments and we'll move back into that vein. Bro, listen, the Green Bay Packers are a really good football team. But how many years have we said that? We said that last year. We said it the year before that. We said it when they were playing for NFC championships. The Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes have been able to do what Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers haven't been able to do. And that is why the Kansas City Chiefs, in my opinion, are the best team.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.